Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Early Late Nights, the Australian gaming and esports news show of the Explosion Network. Here is your host, with no added background noise, Ciaran Marchant. Thank you very much. Hello everybody, what's going on? Welcome to episode 39 of Early Late Nights, the Australian gaming and esports news show of the Explosion Network, right here on twitch.tv/Explosion Network. I'm your host, Ciaran Marchant. How the bloody hell are you? That voiceover just gets better and better every time that, the voiceover man comes in and does it. I'm very grateful for his effects. Welcome to the show. It is the end of the week. We have a fantastic show ahead of you. We've got a great weekend ahead of us. What more could you ask for in this world? Glad you're here. I'm glad you are joining into the show. I don't know if you've seen, but in July, well, not in July, now, hey, CRC Ripto, what's going on? Now we've just had the console sales come out for July, and you know what's happened? The SNES Mini has outsold, at least in the American markets, has outsold all of the other consoles. Nintendo's just released, this is not even a new release. This is a traditional release. This is still the old console, obviously. It's either just been restocked. It's still selling like hotcakes. It's ridiculous that, Nintendo is doing such a good job at managing the stock amounts of this product in the markets that when it is abundant in the market, it gets sold out really quickly, which I think is fantastic for Nintendo. As we know, Nintendo had stock sales fall last week, so to see them do this and to be, everything's paying off really well for them. I'm not a gun with the old market sales, but was very surprised to hear that prices of Nintendo stocks had fallen. So, hey, we can only do what we can do, and we only see bits and pieces of it. So it's good to see Nintendo have another win on a fantastic couple of years that, Nintendo definitely deserve. EA back in hot water. I want to do a topic. I'm going to do a topic Tuesday about EA, but EA, more hot water. News broke that Madden 19, Colin Kaepernick, who is the quarterback for the San Francisco 69ers, that was in a bit of hot water during the whole kneeling scandal and avoiding the American national anthem at a protest. His name was bleeped out of a song that was to be played in Madden 19. The gaming community found out about it, and it was in uproar. It was all over the internet. Everybody was so angry and was trying to boycott Madden. EA has now come out and apologized and said they're going to fix that before the release of Madden 19. So we will see that change coming in. It's quite amusing that, that had happened already. And EA's, reacted to it. EA in hot water all the time. And then another thing that came out, and if you haven't watched the show, I'm not the biggest fan of Battle Royale games. I'm quite outspoken about them. I have my issues with them. And then this interesting news came out. So we see one side of the news a lot here in Australia. We see the whole, Fortnite is ruining my children. Fortnite is the reason that my children aren't doing school properly, or they're not eating properly, or they hate me as a parent, or whatever. Which I could easily spend the next hour bitching about, but I'm not going to. Now we see the other side of it, where across the world, parents are now employing Fortnite tutors for their children to teach them how to get better at Fortnite. And this is, for me, this is fantastic. This is such an interesting scheme of things to see the progression of that. Is, to see the changes that were made from that. With normally, the social norm is guitar lessons or football practice or some kind of, math tutoring, whatever. Now to see that video games, parents are getting tutors involved because they're not in a position to help their child get better, but they want to support it. And it shows a change in people's thinking that, all right, there is something worth, putting time into in video games. There is a platform with the rise of the Overwatch League going into ESPN and being on a more public stage, with esports being more readily available for people, and these games, Fortnite being a free game that is the craze at the moment. Seeing all of those put together has been amazing, and it's been something we've really enjoyed seeing. And now to see these tutors evolve, people. One of my favorite streamers is Jane, who's a Twitch streamer. If you want Overwatch lessons, just hit up this guy right here, everybody. Hit this guy up. But anyway, let's kick off the show. Today's show, we're going to be discussing the Life is Strange Season 2 trailer that just dropped. I'll be discussing the International 2018, the Dota 2 World Championships. I'll be discussing The Walking Dead Season 4. The demo just dropped and giving you a preview for that game. And in the tidbit of the show, we're going to be talking World of Warcraft. There is a pretty big piece of news just dropped for World of Warcraft fans that has divided the community and put some interesting situations in play for the game. So we will discuss that in depth and see what it means for those players. But strap in, sit comfortably, grab yourself, it's a Friday. If you're over the age of drinking, just grab a beer, sit up, get a cup of tea, just chill out. Let's get straight into it with Life is Strange Season 2. If you haven't been a part of the channel very long, I am a huge Life is Strange fan. I loved the first season completely. I love the music. I love the characters. And then to see, I was a big part of the Before the Storm DLC that came out. And Captain Spirit came out, which I really enjoyed. Nick's in chat and he said he was a bit disappointed after Captain Strange. I found Captain Strange interesting. It was a bit of a different demo. It was a different take. And now we have this cryptic teaser. So if you haven't seen the teaser, go check it out. It's literally like 45 seconds of police dash cam footage. And what we see is a Officer Matthews K, who we've not met yet or been interacting with in the Captain Spirit universe, is reporting a 10-10, which in America means that he's reporting a fight, which means there's a couple other people involved off screen. Dylan's now hashtagging Captain Strange, taking a fight that's off screen. We then see the policeman Matthews flung so hard or hit so hard that the police car itself rolls over. He mentions the name Daniel, which is bringing a couple theories in this. So if you dig a little deep, and people have dug a little deep into Captain Spirit, oh my god, I'm gonna almost screw that up every time I say the name of that game now. Captain Spirit, you'll know that one of the neighbors' names is actually Daniel. So it now brings on the theory, maybe Chris, the protagonist from Captain Spirit, wasn't the one with the superpowers. Maybe it was the neighbors that he saw after he had the ending. So that's a little spoilery, but go check out Captain Spirit if you haven't. Sorry for minor spoilers. But go get some go get some Spirit, everybody. But this is exciting. This is really good to see. There's more of these, supernatural elements that we absolutely love seeing in these games. Daniel Strange, oh my god. We love seeing the supernatural elements of Life is Strange, especially the time turning mechanics of the first season. There wasn't much supernatural stuff in the second one. They allured to it, but there wasn't not the second one, in like the Before the Storm. So chat is now going off about strangeness, but whatever. And we see Life is Strange is going to be fully revealed in a reveal trailer August 20, Season 2, and then we'll get the full game in September 27th. I am super excited to see the game. It hints at the weight of the power of whoever's going to be the wielder of the magic powers or the magic abilities in this one is going to be strong enough to flip a car. Maybe we're going to have multiple people with multiple superpowers or abilities. This is amazing. And this teaser did such a great job of dragging people in. As Nick said when he came into chat, he wasn't excited about this game until he saw this trailer. Now he's intrigued again. And this trailer did such a good job. Such a good job of dragging people in, because we barely see anything. We barely see anything on screen. We just see the car pull up, him reporting to a fight. We don't know who the fight's between. We then see the police officer get flung back across the hood of the car flips. I'm super excited. The backpack is part of the title image. Obviously it's going to be something to do with school maybe again. I am fully excited. It's a fun thing, and I can't wait for the next week or two where there's going to be more and more bits and pieces like coming out from this teaser. I can already see, something in the background that we haven't seen already, or somebody breaking stuff down. There was actually a newspaper article in Captain Spirit that related to a incident that happened between a police officer and a couple people that you could find in the garage, which could be related to this. This is shot in October 2016, and I believe it was 2017 in the game. So we shall see. We shall see. I'm super excited for the game, though. I'm really pumped for it coming out. Life is Strange is a fantastic trilogy, and hey, can't get any worse than the last episode of season 1. That was pretty bad. Anyway, so I don't get sad and torn over that. Let's move right along to the esports world, where Dota 2 is leading up to the International 8. This is, of course, by the name, it's the 8th freaking international, and every year it gets bigger and bigger. They're up to something like $23 million as a prize pool, which is all crowdfunded, which there has been some recent debate over if that is healthy for the esports scene, that the international crowdsources so much of its money, where other places like, Overwatch League is coming out with just $1 million prize pool that is all from Blizzard, and then it's more lucrative for the players because the organizations are still able to put in money for their players. They're getting paid a minimum of $50,000. There's more and more dental and healthcare. It's a fantastic list of benefits from being an Overwatch League player, where Dota 2 pros don't really get, but they do get this immense prize pool that even just being able to play in the event kind of signs you up to a big payday. So the teams are looking ready to go. We're in this move. This is the first tournament since the first big tournament, the first international since Valve put in place the fortnightly updates to the game and changes to the game. This is the first international that has almost been on this scale. It's on a much larger scale. It's now happening in Vancouver, Canada. It normally takes place in Seattle, because that's where Valve is situated. It's taking place in Vancouver, Canada, so different arena. It's going to be a different feel. It was recently announced the announcers and casters and hosts of the event have been announced now. It's all pretty much everybody you would expect, who have done a really good job. It was a bit odd not seeing LD as a part of it. I guess he's moved on to other esports now, so we'll see how he invests and see where that goes. But it's a very strong list of casters and announcers. I think it's bigger than it's been previously. It's weird. It's very weird, but it's good. It's a good weird. We're moving very far forward with it. It runs from the 15th of August to the 25th, so a week and a bit away from it, where it's going to be just a Swiss tournament. It's going to have a group stages leading into the main event, and the main event is double elimination. Lower bracket plays best of ones, but it's exciting. It's really interesting to see the changes. My pick for the whole event is going to be Team Liquid, which is probably not the best pick. Probably. I'm just a Team Liquid fan when it comes to Dota. A lot of people are putting their hopes and dreams into Virtus Pro, who as a team have looked very good for the last 18 months, have slowly been building and putting together a fantastic roster with a fantastic set of plays and character builds that they are fantastically doing. If in case you didn't know, the Immortal 3 treasure was just released in conjunction with Dota and with the International, but it was super odd. Super odd. So it was only released a couple days ago now, but we have seen that it was picked up on that in the Immortal Treasure 3, the drop rates weren't working. And the way loot boxes work in Dota 2 is the more you buy, the better chance you get of getting the rare stuff, the good stuff, because your chances increase with every single loot box you buy. It's kind of a bad thing because it entices you to buy more, as we discussed earlier in the week. But what was found out was that system wasn't working. You weren't getting more and more every time you bought one. And because the Immortal Treasure 3 was such a big treasure, it had lower drop rates for the rare stuff. So what that meant was, Valve then released, and people started to realize that the drop rates for every single Immortal Treasure they'd released so far were wrong. And they kind of did oops-a-daisy. We haven't. So Valve has now gone along. They've fixed the issue. All players are part of that already have the battle pass are getting at level like 600 and something. You now get an extra 2 or 4. No, you get an extra 4 of each loot box. as well as a free 10 levels towards your battle pass to say sorry, which I don't know if it's enough, but it's interesting that one small mistake can continue to break. And if we want to talk about bad things to waste your money on, this is my first year I'm not interested in Dota 2 or the International. Or when I say not interested, I'm not heavily involved. I'm not playing Dota. I'm not part of the game. This time last year, I was heavily involved in Dota 2 still. I was very excited for this, and I put in a lot of money to level up my thing, because they started putting in, you get 1,000 levels, you get a little statue sent to your house, and I've got 2 of those. I think I was supposed to have 3, and I never 3 this way 3, and I never got, I never followed it up and got my 3rd one, so, which is kind of sad. But I spent so much money, I don't even want to think about how much money I spent on battle passes. But in other esports news, the Overwatch League announced 2 new teams to join its lineup. In its total, there's going to be 6 expansion teams brought out, but instead they've announced 2 already. So Atlanta's getting a team, as well as, I cannot pronounce the second one. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's Gurzong in China, but don't quote me on that. Look it up. It's fantastic news to see teams growing. We don't know anything about the rosters. We don't know anything about the colors for the teams, or what the full name of the team's going to be. But it's great to see there's growth already happening in the Overwatch League with it. Any esports news you want to talk about, you want to see on the show, contact me at your boy Ringo on the Twitters, or send an email through to Ciaran, spelled Ciaran, at explosionnetwork.com. Just explosionnetwork.com. There's no .au. Don't even think that. Take that out of your mind. Nick has said in chat, this is his 28th year of not giving a crap about Dota 2 or the Internationals. And it's not that you don't. Apparently, it's not that I don't care. I just have an Overwatch addiction. I've just moved on to Dota. Dota is now my passion. It's my focus for these games. And I'm really enjoying it. So fuck you, Dylan. Fuck you. Anyway, moving right along. Coming out in a couple weeks' time, we're going to be coming out on the 14th, is The Walking Dead Season 4, where we will finally see our little Clementine finish off her story. I'm fucking sad. We had another teaser released at Comic-Con, as well as another trailer coming up shortly before the release of the game, showing more development of Clementine, of the new characters. We've now seen character art of the 3 new characters. There's also been hints that characters are going to be returning from past seasons. There's a couple... Hey, Dylan. There's been a couple hints. I really hope Krista returns. I think her story needs to be completed in this. But we will be seeing The Walking Dead kind of come to an end. And I don't think Telltale is completely out of the water with making another Walking Dead series. It's just this is the end of Clementine's story. And I'm happy to see it end. Not the fact that I don't want to play it anymore. It's just that I'm happy that Clementine gets an ending to her story. If that means she's going to fucking die, which is probably going to happen because it's the fucking Walking Dead. But we'll definitely see some evolution in her character. We'll see exactly where the story arc's gone from our days in Season 1 playing as Lee right through to now. So it's going to be crazy. I'm really excited for it. It's been an interesting ride, and I can't wait to see how the choices map out. I really hope something that I said or that I chose in Season 1 has an impact on Season 4. I think it'd be amazing if that far-reaching writing has been had. We'll see the development of the story as we go along. There's only 2 writers for the first 2 episodes announced, and they're both looking to be fantastic. So I'm glad they're not rushing it out this time. The last season, they released episodes 1 and 2 together. So they're going to... just episode 1 this time. I hope they're a bit longer episodes. The length of the episodes are consistent, and we get a decent farewell to the series. Because for me, I think Clementine has been one of the most fascinating stories happened so far in video games because of this character that's grown up under our wing for so long now. The talk about Walking Dead Season 1, if you haven't played it, I urge you go play it, because the story that has played right through now has been fantastic. It's been my favorite writing of bits and of games in general is Clementine's growth, the interaction with Lee, how Lee's been brought back in recent seasons via different methods. I'm pumped. I'm excited and I'm sad. I'm extremely sad to see this game end, but we've got to have it end. I think it's got to be done. Let's move on to the tidbit of the show. So I don't cry and get sad. I'm going to make you. If you're into World of Warcraft or have been a fan of the World of Warcraft series, either through Warcraft, through the Dota mods, or like the original Dota, or whatever way, if you've read books, if you play Hearthstone, if you play Heroes of the freaking Storm, you might have heard recently about the changes. So Battle Razaroth is coming and we're getting the Warbringers series happening. So we had the Jaina story come recently, and now we've just had released the Sylvanas Warbringer story, which is probably one of the most polarizing stories that have happened in WoW so far because of the events of this short. The World of Warcraft community is up in arms, they're confused, they're lost, they need a friend, they need assistance. Oh, they're all over the place and it's really sad, but it's really fun at the same time for me to see. So I would advise you, even if you do care, go watch. Maybe stop listening to me for a second because I'm going to spoil what happens in it. But what happens is that Sylvanas attacks the Night Elf's home, where she was originally from before she became Forsaken, thanks to Arthas. And she wasn't planning. It starts off that she wasn't planning to do anything too evil or too bad. She was just going there to get revenge for something. And she goes there, and after having a discussion with a Night Elf that is wounded, she pretty much says, fuck it, just gonna fucking light a tree on fire. Not just any tree, though. The freaking world tree. The most important tree to the Night Elf's culture. The most important tree probably in the fucking Alliance. She just burns it down. And that's what the thumbnail of this show episode. It's the world tree fucking burning. And the world is in complete fucking upheaval right now because of this change. The world tree itself was revealed in game. There's been this whole change because the future of the game is rolling before everybody's eyes. And as Nick has already done, hashtag make Horde great again, hashtag not my Sylvanas, because people don't think this is their Sylvanas. In a previous article, one of the writers have come out for World of Warcraft and say that the future of World of Warcraft is a world of grey. Not of good and evil, but a world of grey. Which put so many people probably a little bit at ease because they were thinking, all right, cool. Each side's going to do some things that they're not proud of. This is literally doing things to a community that I've never seen. And I hope this was their intention because it's been so illicit and so guttural that seeing people react to this is amazing. You know, there's members of the Horde that have just said, Sylvanas, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Like, druids of the Horde are like, ooh, we like stuff like that. That's bad. Oh, that's, you know, and other members of the whole community are now seriously probably considering jumping to Alliance. As Alliance members are probably seriously thinking about jumping to Horde because of these changes. This is war, and they're eliciting these feelings out of their players, and it's amazing. A big concern that the WoW players have is that Sylvanas' story is going the same route as Garrosh Hellscream, which is one of my favourite characters from the World of Warcraft lore, because he's a fucking badass. But we saw the slow downfall of the previous chief of the Horde with Garrosh Hellscream, as he slowly fell into madness until he got to the point where he became a raid boss himself. And they don't. One of the big things is, in World of Warcraft, the Horde are not evil. The Alliance are not good. On first glance, probably, but they've both done fucked up shit. Both the factions have done terrible, terrible things. But that's the beauty of it, is that you are then picking based on which side you want to join. But now, Horde are seeing that now people who are fans of Sylvanas and have been with her story right from the very beginning, from her change into the Forsaken, from her joining the Horde, from her rise up through the ranks of the Horde, to her becoming the first, the chieftain, not the first chieftain, but the chieftain of the Horde. It's crazy. It's ridiculous to see, and now we're seeing it. We're seeing it played right in front of us. People are worried that she's just going to have a stereotypical story arc now, that she's going to be a bad guy, and that she was going to fall into evil, and she'll become a raid boss, and we'll have to kill her. And I hope that's not the case. And I don't think it's the case. Other than the two black spots in WoW history that are Mist of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor, we've seen some really good writing come from the World of Warcraft writers. We've seen some great things come from Blizzard, and I have faith in them that this story that they're wanting to tell with Sylvanas is going to be worth the ride. And the whole outrage that's currently happening in the World of Warcraft community, I want to say to World of Warcraft players, have some patience. The expansion hasn't even started yet. We haven't got to the story. We're barely scratching the surface. This is literally how Blizzard is setting that story up. And, maybe this is them using your feelings of this is not my Sylvanas against you to make you angry, to make you feel things about this game, because that's what game writers are doing. They're trying to make you passionate and feel emotional about the game. It's a fantastic thing to see, and I'm really happy that this change has come in. Sylvanas is a great character, and I think their writing for her has been fantastic so far, and the change that's coming will be a positive change. Maybe not in the World of Warcraft, or Azeroth is probably the better. Not in the world of Azeroth, but in our world, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be great writing, and I'm excited for it. I hope you're prepared for Battle of Azeroth that releases next week. I had it written down somewhere. I believe it's next week or the week after. In the next 2 weeks, Battle of Azeroth will be coming out. We will see it in full swing and how that affects the world. The pre-patch updates have been happening very regularly now. We are getting more and more content preparing us for the expansion. I'm still tempted to join. 11 days, 14th. So same day as Walking Dead. I thought it was. But I hope you're excited to get involved. I hope you've done your pre-expansion quest lines. I hope you've destroyed your legendary weapon. It's kind of funny that they're getting rid of those, in my opinion. But it's, I'm tempted. If you've never played WoW, maybe jump in. Subscription at the minute gives you access to every game but Battle of Azeroth. Pretty fucking cool, in my opinion. Pretty fucking cool. I'm a Horde player. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. This has been episode 39 of Early Late Nights, right here on twitch.tv/Explosion Network. Please, thank you very much for joining me. Make sure you jump in and catch the show live every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on the channel. Or if you can't make it, that's fine. And as long as I haven't fucked up and forgot to pause the music, or there isn't some other audio bug with this episode, unlike last episode, the show will be going up as a video on demand on our YouTube channel. There will be replays of it on our Twitch channel, and it's on all good podcasting services. So please check out the show. Give us a like, give us a follow. Tweet at me at your boy Ringo, or at the Explosion Network at Explosion Pod. Get involved with the show. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. And I'd love you to join me here live to yell at me as my friends are yelling at me currently with Dylan and Nick here. Thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you enjoy every game possible that you want to play, because it is definitely worth it, and have fun. See you later.